Illinois House Legislative Black Caucus Chair and State Representative Cam Buckner here. And in Illinois, we are reforming the money bail system. So let's talk about cash bail. The United States Constitution provides us the foundational and fundamental right to pretrial liberty. We know it commonly as innocent until proven guilty. But because of the money bail system, that right of the many has become a privilege for the few. In terms of freedom, if you got it, you can get it. Historically, bail did not always mean a set amount of money. In most circumstances, it was simply a pledge to return to court. And just because somebody is free from detention does not mean they are free from their obligation to the legal system. If purchase of freedom sounds familiar to you, it's because it is. It has its roots in slavery. Back in the day, there was a lot of money to be made on the ginning up of the fear people had about dangerous black people. The private industry of slave catchers that began in 1704 in Virginia and the Carolinas and focused on jailing black people simply because they were black. They were identified as fugitives and deemed dangerous. It also made way for the practice of safekeeping, which was jailing enslaved runaways until their enslavers paid a reward and collected them, just like property. There's a lot of garbage talk calling bail reform in Illinois unconstitutional. That's misleading at best. The truth is that the current bail practices are the ones that are unconstitutional because they violate the rights to due process and equal protection under the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, the prohibition against excessive bail found in the 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution, and the right to a speedy trial guaranteed by the 6th Amendment of the United States Constitution. For folks who are now trying to weaponize the Constitution to maintain a broken system, it's cynical and it's hypocritical. During slavery, there were very few ways to be emancipated. One was rebellion. Those didn't often work, but we do know the names of Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, and Gabriel Prosser. 2 was escape. Shout out to Harriet Tubman. 3, manumission, which was a legal action as a part of a will upon the death of a slave master that freed their slaves. Basically, if I can't have you, nobody else can. 4, self-purchase, very similar to being able to post your own bail. History is peppered with a number of stories of enslaved people who were able to do that successfully. Venture Smith, a West African-born slave in Connecticut who purchased the freedom of his wife, his son, and his 2 daughters. Elizabeth Keckley, enslaved in St. Louis, Missouri, who used her special skill set as a seamstress to make money and to free herself and her son. And Reverend James T. Burroughs, who Carter G. Woodson talks about in his book, The History of the Negro Church, who was said to have a gift of eloquence, and as a traveling preacher earned enough money to pay for his freedom and for the 2 free black men who voluntarily put themselves in slavery in his place until he could come back with enough money. Real friends. Today, we continue to trap people who have not been convicted of a crime in the criminal legal system, which leads to economic exploitment, crippling debt, and control of their movement. So then they feel the necessity to pay debt to get out of jail. Studies show that poverty is the main reason most low-level, nonviolent crimes are committed. And if in the current system, the only way to get free is to have money, then poverty is both what puts you in jail and what keeps you there. We also know for people who are able to find family to put together enough money to free them, that bail, court, and lawyer fees largely fall on the backs of women. And I will remind you that in this country, Black and Latino women still make 64 and 57 cents on the dollar compared to their white male counterparts. That ain't right. How about creating a system where imprisonment is based on what you did, not on what you have? True criminal justice is a system where freedom cannot be bought, and more importantly, where freedom cannot be sold.